5 minutes.
Your awareness may be powerful enough to control your instincts. Your instinct will be to remove your hand from the box.
It's your girl Meesh, and welcome to another episode of the Luv MEESH Podcast. Welcome to another episode of Luv MEESH Podcast. How are you guys doing today? I know I stopped on part 2 of Rizza. I bounced around to some other topics, but look, we back. We gonna finish off message to the millennials. I'm tired. Moms, I have a question. Why aren't y'all tired? Because that's people who is tired. I literally walked to the park with the kids. Yes, we were in the sun. I feel like I didn't really get sleep because they got up so goddamn early. Kids wake up at 5, like for real. Like the sun is not even up yet. I need a couple hours of sleep, please. Made them breakfast. We walked to the park. I let the sun wear them out. They're taking a nap right now. I should be taking a nap too. I'm sad. Babies be talking. Bella, that's a whole conversation. Like, who was you yelling at? I'm definitely making this bottle for you, sir, ma'am. Can you let me shake it up and give it to you? But when do you stop being tired? How long does that take? Did you take your nap? You gonna turn on the TV? Be quiet, okay? Is it after year 1, year 2, year 3? Hell, are you tired right now? Because I feel like, this was one day for me. I'm tired. I'm tired with my 9 to 5. And then to add kids on top of that and everything else, spouse, my own personal goals. Ooh, child. I'm in your whole mommy mentor. I don't know how y'all do it. Please tell me the secret. Okay, so hold on. Let me give them a message because they about to start. Okay, I got 5 sleep and 1 just woke up. Nieces and nephew. So my niece is turning 15, and I'm like, what the? I don't remember having 15 years worth of memory. So I was like, okay, what the fuck have you been doing? Partying, clubbing, traveling and stuff. I'm like, okay, pause for the call. You know, you go to funerals and stuff, it be having you reflecting. I'm like, let me make sure I make time for my family. Because if you don't develop them bonds and you get old, it'll just be like, hey and bye. It's, you know, or only see them at funerals. And I don't want it to be like that. Like, your family, like, I love you. Like, how's your day? What's going on? Da, da, da. Like, family is starting not to be what it used to be. So if I can put a dent in that right now, put a dent in that. So I'm excited that, you know, for the most part, they got Skype. I could communicate with them through Skype. I could communicate with them with their little cell phones or text messages and stuff. Me and my oldest, my first niece, we be bouncing TV shows off of each other, catching up with that. But with this funeral, y'all, it just hit me. Like, again, I said this before, like, the grandparents is gone, pretty much. The parents is leaving now, and we are up next. And it's like, damn. I'm really going to be like the great auntie any day now. Because the moment my niece has a baby, she's going to become an aunt, and I'll be a great aunt at that time. So I'm like, oh, make sure I spend some more time. But we're going to finish this amazing book by, you already know, Rizza. Okay, so, let's see. I'm going to start here. So they are saying that the solution is to rid the earth of approximately 3 to 4 billion people. That it will be an economic move that will leave a kind of paradise for those remaining, whereby all the fruits of the labor from the entities and those people now removed will fall to those who remain. That's greed as hell. So we're like building up a country, building up a nation, and they just want to exterminate us, get rid of us, and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Like, damn, that's how we do. Interesting enough, in the movie Avengers, this was the same mentality that Bronos had to kill a third of the universe and save 2/3 of the universe. Now, I want to pause there. When I saw Bronos, I don't talk to aliens, not that I know of. Like, I can't say, I talked to the Council of Nine, this is what they said. I just be having random-ass dreams. I don't be knowing who is who. Bitches just had a dream. That's how I be feeling. If it is the Council of the Nine, I haven't come to that realization yet. But when I saw the movie Avengers, I was like, oh my God, is this not what's going on right now? Like, they literally trying to kill all the population. Like, a person that everybody has known basically has died. And, you know, this one person is want to be like the judge and want to have the authority to do that. And then everybody else, no matter what the religion, they're putting all that stuff aside to fight this fight. Now, you know it's a battle when everybody can put all the shit that they have aside and fight for a cause. You know it's real. Now, you know black people have been going against KKK forever, which probably was a setup. The CIA probably started all that stuff and then headed the baton off to the white man to blame. Like, we will never know. It's just so much lies at this point. But the CIA does infiltrate everything. Like, with those Black Lives Matters riots, they had bricks sitting on corners. Like, why would you even do that? You already know we have to calm our motherfucking self down. And you're going to set some bricks there so we can magically throw them in windows. Like, come on. So they'll start throwing the bricks and then they'll let other people do it and they'll leave. It's like throwing a rock and hot in your hand. But anyways, when I saw the Avenger movies, I was like, oh my God. Right now, today, I wouldn't be surprised if KKK members are against a lot of stuff that's going on. Black people, Muslim, Jews, like everybody that usually be beefing each other, we all standing side by side saying, what the fuck is going on? Hell no, we're not getting a shot, whatever. Even though if we step back, we might be at odds with each other. But ironically, we all agree with this. And sometimes stuff like that needs to happen so that we can really look at the enemy for who the enemy is versus the little tricks thrown our way. So, Corona raised some hell, but it's been some good and bad with Corona. So, I just feel like if you haven't learned to boost your immune system by now, I don't know what else to say. I am going to look into an alternative for bleach because bleach is harmful, although it kills bacteria. I think it's doing more harm to you than the fucking bacteria, if you want to be honest. But Greenwise is a company that's starting to give a lot of vegan, house cleaning products and stuff like that. And I remember my best friend was telling me about a company. She ordered like a box of non-toxic products at her home. And I haven't signed up yet, but I definitely want to. So if you don't read stuff, if you don't learn what they aren't teaching you, if you don't, attempt to grow a garden, attempt to buy books about herbs and stuff, like, at this point, it's really nothing else to say, because when they turn this internet off or when the shit really hits the fan, I don't think you'll be able to knock on someone's door for help. It's going to be like, okay, I only got enough for me and my family. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. And so I just hope everybody's like preparing, stocking up food, boosting their immune system. You could take over 4,000 IUDs of vitamin D a day. You could take as much vitamin C as possible the moment you start having diarrhea or constipation as your body's way of telling you, all right, it's enough. There was a doctor that never went to the hospital, never vaccinated his kids. He did high-dose vitamin C. It's on one of my previous podcasts, and you can also catch the YouTube. But his whole goal was vitamin C, high doses. I mean, not one pill of 1,000, 10 or 12, you know, again, until his bowels told him it was enough. So just, if they want to use germs, we just got to be like, all right, you're using germs, I'm boosting my immune. And then whatever else they come out with, we just got to be like, all right, you're doing that, I'm doing this. So it's like we're playing basketball, offense, defense. But anyway, let's keep going. I do remember how I felt when I was watching Avengers. Like, the fuck? This is not a movie. This is a reality. Okay, so let me keep going. The reality is they see the future as being black. And if they do not take a drastic action to eliminate population growth, they will no longer exist. Now, to me, I've said it before, if I was a starfish and bitch, starfish is about to be extinct, then hey, Mr. Shark, we need to mate and have a starfish shark, okay? I wouldn't say let's eliminate all the other sea life in the ocean because, you know what I mean, I'm about to be extinct, the fuck? Just merge, mate, and, you know, change your DNA, and, you know, I don't know. I just felt like, fuck, there's always a better way. Extermination is like to kill something you didn't create, because at the end of the day, there's a primordial creator that created the freaking atom, air, like everything in existence. So without those things being out there, nothing else could be, right? So even if Anunnaki created us, so to speak, with their DNA and the Homo sapien or the Chewbacca or what the fuck ever, if they did create us, okay, great. That is a type of creator, right? But something created it, and something created it that created it, and blah, 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 all the way up to the first, right? If you can't just create something that doesn't exist, not mixing stuff, not using alchemical, then you ain't a creator God. So I feel like, how dare you turn around and try to wipe out something that you didn't even make, so to speak. I feel like that's an insult to God. I really do. That's like you giving birth to a child and someone else killing that child. Like, how dare you? I birthed this child. Or someone else spanking your child, but you birthed that child. Don't put your hands on my child. I got it. You know what I mean? So, their species is different. Although we all look human, we're still different species. And what came to me? When they call us the zodiac signs and it's a circle, like a pizza pie, and you cut out the different slices for the 12 zodiacs, I feel like space, universe, whatever, is like this big circle. And within each sector, if you go from center all the way out to the edge, or if it doesn't end, whatever, you have Libra from the center all the way out to the end of the Libra slice of the pizza. I feel like those are different species. I really do. Like, you could call it alien, you know, not to freak out the population, what they want to call them, zodiacs. Because in that alien book, it said Librarians. Oh, okay, I'm not dumb. That's fucking Libra. So that's fucking Libra. It's like, damn, they really feel like we can't handle anything, that they really have to lie to protect us, which is sad, you know, like, our minds can't handle the truth. Our minds can only handle lies. Like, what type of existence is that, where the very fabric of your being would die if you heard the truth? Like, that's so sad. But anyways, so although that we want to call each other races, I feel like we're different species that are here. Whatever Earth has, we're all here coexisting together. But if you get a chance, look at the extraterrestrial alien species book. I recommended in one of my previous podcasts, and it lists all the alien species, and that book is phenomenal. Okay, it tells you what their spaceships are like, what their heart are like, what laws they follow, how some of them volunteered to come here to help raise the vibration of Earth, which is why I try to end these podcasts with vibe high, because everything happens to everybody. Take a deep breath, feel it through, and still just rise, because there's power in that vibration. You know what I mean? Help is on the way. Like if you're at a 200 vibrational level, someone is willing to help you at 500. They can't get to 200. So you have to help yourself by listening to music, dancing, eating well, whatever, to get yourself from 2 to 5 to get that help. And I don't think people really talk about that, but let's keep going. The reality is that we see the future as being black, and if they don't do a drastic action to limit population growth, they will no longer exist. This is why they have heavily encouraged having less children, pushing multiple avenues of depopulation, including but not limited to biological warfare, genetically modified foods, GMOs, vaccines that are now being heavily pushed, currently on the agenda to be mandatory across the country, an attempt at medical martial law, and the like. Thought that was interesting. The study concluded the world's population could reach its peak around the end of the current century at a level of nearly 11 billion people. Who are they to say that's a peak? Who are they to say that's a peak? If you stop controlling land and herding us around like sheep, you wouldn't have to bear the responsibility of feeding us and all that other stuff like that. Like, they literally let us do our own thing. We all can survive on our own, like our ancestors did within their clans and their tribes. They weren't trying to take care of the whole world. Okay, tribe Redfoot was taking care of tribe Redfoot, and that was it. It's stressful to try to take care of the whole world. No, not one man, not one government, not one whatever, not one God. You know what I mean? The little demi-creator guys, you can't handle that. That's too much. But if you give that power back to the people and help them, you know what I mean, care for themselves, the world will be a better place. But anywho, the report also confirmed the world's population is growing older due to increasing life expectancy and failing infertility levels, and the number of countries experiencing reduction in population size are growing. The resulting changes in size, composition, and distribution of the world's populations have important consequences for achieving the Sustainable Developmental Goals, the globally agreed upon targets for improving economic prosperity and social well-being while protecting the environment. I don't like that. Like, for whoever to be running the whole thing, and we don't even be voting on this shit. We don't have no say. Like, excuse me, my mother had me. I don't know who y'all are, but if anyone can make executive decisions like that, it would be my mother and my father. Like, I don't understand how they can just come in and be trying to tell us what to do. The global fertility rate, which fell from 3.2 births per woman in 1990 to 2.5 births in 2019, is projected to decline further to just 2.2 by 2050. Fertility remains above 2.1 births per woman on average over a lifetime. In the sub-Saharan Africa, 4.6 births, Oceania, excluding Australia, 1.9 births, New Zealand, 3.4 births, North Africa, and Western Asia, 2.9 births in Central and Southern Asia. Wow. Who's sitting there doing all these calculations, y'all? A fertility level of 2.1 births per woman is needed to ensure replacement of generations and to avoid population decline over the long run. In the absence of immigration, they place a heavy focus on poor countries that have a large growing population, and they make many statements rather than helping the people from poor countries that they should encourage them to simply have less children and not to populate so much. But what is interesting that they do not encourage those in Europe and multiple countries within Europe to do the same. I have been involved in exposing vaccines on a local, national, international level for quite some time. What I can tell you now is that in this time, for everyone to become aware of exactly what the true agenda is behind what is in those needles. For example, hold on one moment. Wake her up. All right, I got 4 sleep and 2 up. Okay. Where was I? For example, at the Harvard Medical School, they have 13 courses within the first year which cover introduction to profession, molecular and cellular bases of medicine, the human body, human genetics, patient and doctor relationship, introduction to social medicine and global health, clinical epidemiology and population health, introduction to healthcare policy, scholarships, and medicine, physician and community integrated human, biological, immunology, microbiology, pathology, medical clinics, and professionalism. It appears that whatever is taught about vaccination and immunizations in Harvard School curriculum is primarily covered within immunology, microbiology, and pathology. Even within that section of the curriculum, vaccines are not well covered at all. If you search the dozens of curricula in medical schools throughout the United States, you'll find that there is not much of a variation from that curriculum at Harvard. He then states vaccines have damaged black people, specifically black boys within the inner cities. How does one vaccine given to all kids affect one specific race the most? Because they up here playing God with these vaccines. I will not dare give my living seed a vaccine that a race that hates my very skin, my very existence, something that says it's for their health. No, my nigga, this milk from my titty is for this baby's health. That's why it's good for them and it helps them grow. You know, like these same people that will burn crosses in front of our great-great-grands' houses are running these countries. And they say get a shot and you get it. We worse off than we were before. You know? Just feel like, what happened? If I do a past life regression and realize that I was a slave and I wake up, I will be fucking furious at what we're doing now. But maybe it's good that we come back and fucking forget. Because it would be like, the fuck? You'll be coming back ready to wreak havoc. Okay, let's see. This was interesting to me because I haven't started my family yet. And I never wanted vaccines. And the more I learned about it, I'm like, okay, so there was a still voice inside of me that was, I didn't even want to be on birth control. My mom made that decision for me. And then, you know, when I was old enough, I was able to get off of it. I understand her point of view. She wanted us to be able to finish high school without making a foolish decision and getting pregnant, which that happens a lot. And that happened to her. So she didn't want us to repeat her cycle. So she actually was able to break that family cycle with us. But I'm going to break the cycle with my lineage from, you know, my grandparents. You know, they were immunized. My parent was immunized. We were immunized as kids, but I haven't gotten any more as an adult. And then my new generation, they're not going to get it at all. And so the more that I learn, I just appreciate it because my soul's like, no, you're not giving your kids shots. And now I know why. So always listen to that intuition. It's smarter than you. It's trying to tell you things that you may not know. And, you know, if you just give it some time and do some research, you'll figure out why you have those feelings or why you don't want to do those things that voice is telling you, you know, don't do. Okay, so here we go. According to Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, which I love her, I follow so many doctors on Telegram. Get Telegram if you don't have it. Author, lecturer, researcher, and consultant. When she graduated from medical school in 1985, there were only 3 vaccines at the time. She was never told what was a vaccine. Now, if the doctor isn't told what it is, how can you turn around and give your patient something and you don't know what it is? Please explain. There was DTP, MMR, and polio. And it wasn't until 1991 when there was this big ramp up of the vaccine schedule, starting with hepatitis B vaccine at birth. They then added chickenpox and Prevnar 13 vaccines. And now, of course, there are well over 69 doses. Let me repeat that. Now, of course, there are well over 69 doses of 16 vaccines that have to be injected before the age of 5. As a mother, I could never. And I don't blame anyone that does. But I do know there's one thing. When you know better, you do better. I mean, that's a word within itself. You may drive around without a seatbelt. You get in an accident. You realize how important that seatbelt is. You might drink and drive. You get a DUI. You spend some time in jail. You know, you might drink. Let that shit wear off the next time you get back in the fucking car. You might have sex, end up fucking pregnant. You take condoms more serious. Or you might fuck around and have sex and get you an STD. Start to take condoms more serious. You see where I'm going with this? When you know better, you do better. So, yes, baby. So let me keep going. So anyone who's graduated from medical school and has gone through residency program from 1991 forward, the only thing that they're told is to do vaccines. That's horrid to me. That is horrid to me. Here's how you do them. Here's the schedule. Here's how you're going to give them. And there's even and they're even encouraging the doctors and training them to coerce parents by stating that parents are practicing vaccine heresy. Now, what exactly is vaccine heresy? Well, according to the World Health Organization, vaccine heresy refers to the delay in the acceptance. Vaccine heresy refers to the delay in acceptance or refusal of vaccine despite ability of vaccination services. Now, there was this woman, I think I told y'all before, she was against vaccines. She would do all these meetings, white lady, very, hot. She used to work for one of the companies too. So if anybody knew what they was talking about, I'm pretty sure they tell you not to save files and shit. But you could save all that shit on the floppy disk before you leave, So I'm just saying, someone on the inside, if someone's on the inside telling you not to do something, I would be more concerned, because you coming from behind enemy lines saying don't do it and you're not doing it on your kids, you have to kind of ponder that. So this woman was going around campaigning on the news. She's even on YouTube. Y'all can find her. She started to be scared for her life. She would find one day she had a conversation with someone. She was like, I want to go. I need to get out of town. I feel like I'm a sitting duck. She came back to her house. It was a duck on her table. Like, not only was they watching and listening to her, bitch, they sent her a motherfucking message. Like, you are a fucking duck. She even put her laptop in her stove. And when she came back, it was on her kitchen, middle of her floor. They end up killing her. And this is where my heart is against government. If this lady wants to go around saying don't do vaccines, fine. Let her go around saying don't do vaccines. You know what I mean? She ain't got no lawsuit on her hand. If I'm Big Pharma, what are you to me, Big Pharma? I wouldn't worry about little peasants like that if I'm running this whole world. But if I have to kill you, that means I'm scared. That means I feel like you're a threat. That means people are waking up, and if you keep running your mouth, you're going to run our money away. That means what you're saying is true, because now I have to eliminate you. It's just making the guilty more guilty. I just feel like they would be better off letting these people live. Let her live. Let Dr. Sebi live. Let Nipsey Hussle live. Like, killing people, you're just putting more blood on your hand, is making you more guilty. It means the same stuff these people were rapping about, talking about, teaching about is true. And you're scared, and you're eliminating. You can't even play a fair game. Instead of playing the game and see who wins, because someone's going to lose and someone's going to win, you cop out and you kill them. So you're only one standing, which makes you look like you're winning and you're not. You know what I mean? That's a coward. But anyways, but I don't give a fuck. Having my baby at home, either by myself in the tub, like celebrities be doing. What's that girl name? That's my best friend, favorite author. I forgot her name, but she got that song Concrete Rose. Her and her me and her had 2 of their kids in the tub at home naturally. I saw a woman give birth in a stream, like she was in a stream in her goddamn backyard, river or whatever. I see women give birth with dolphins, like fucking dolphins help assist you give birth. You know, you got your doulas. People be giving birth in their car. Like, what the fuck is a hospital? Like, why do we feel like we need to go to the hospital? Okay. Even back in the day, midwives would come to your house and help you give birth. Help you give birth because you're the one doing the shit. You know what I mean? And them doctor bills is ridiculous. I'm like, so they pay you to let the child sit in your chest. They pay you for all this shit when you could have had this baby at home for fucking free. I'm not playing that game anymore. And they say all the stuff that they do to the baby, pulling them out the wrong way against gravity, shining the light in their eye, putting the stuff in their eye, vitamin K, like all that stuff is just detrimental to a child coming in this earth, and I just don't want no parts of it. They don't even want you to really keep the placenta. I've saw so many women keep the placenta, plant it under a tree, keep it until the belly button fall out. Some people put it in capsules and take it as pills. Some people eat it. It's just so much nutrients in that umbilical cord, and they just want to snip it off. No, give my baby everything that my baby needs. Like the fuck. But anywho, let's continue. They're even using researchers who work for the medical establishment to comb Facebook and Instagram and social media to come up with arguments to kind of argue these parents who are making the reasons that they don't want to take vaccinations and they don't want to give them to their children. I put me because, period, I'm not. This is called, all of this violates a very basic and fundamental right that parents have with regards to their child being vaccinated. This is called informed consent, the right to be informed about the risk of vaccinations, the benefits of vaccinations, as well as the alternatives to vaccinations. That's what they're taught in medical school. You cannot force someone to get out of the office or force them away from your help or for you not to help them as a doctor or a medical professional simply because they refuse the option that you give them. However, nowadays, the American Academy of Pediatrics is saying that this is okay. So see how things are slightly changing? What's really going on here? Interestingly enough, the American Academy of Pediatrics has an entire section on how to convince parents to take vaccinations. Even when the parents absolutely do not want to take this option, and legally they don't have to take this option, but now they are switching the laws to force parents to give their children vaccinations, or else they will go to jail and their child will be taken and put in foster care and given all the vaccinations without the parents' consent. Now, when a child is born, some parents who become somewhat knowledgeable about vaccines continue to spread the vaccines out rather than getting them all at one time. However, doctors are telling parents that spreading out vaccines in no way gives any additional benefit to the child versus getting them on schedule. Just lies on top of lies on top of lies. Okay, let me skip past some of this. I can get over 69 doses, y'all. 69 what? I love how he says is vaccinations have increased and health has decreased. We can say that about a lot of stuff. There's an epidemic of chronic disease and disability. 1 child in 6 in America now are learning disabled. 1 in 9 have asthma. 1 in 50 are autism. 1 in 400 have developing diabetes. Millions more with inflammatory bowel disorders, rheumatoid arthritis, epilepsy, and more and more and more. America has the worst report card in its history of health, and they in no way want the public to have knowledge that vaccinations have anything to do with this. But that is because the agenda with vaccines is working. According to Dr. William Thompson, who was a senior lead scientist over the Centers of Disease Control Vaccines Division, the MMR, measles, mumps, rubella vaccine is the vaccination that he stated gives black boys more autism at a rate of 236% more than Caucasian boys. He also stated in 2000 and 2014 it would have revealed the information about MMR vaccine and what it was doing to black boys that could have prevented at least 100,000 black boys from having autism. There was a meeting at the CDC, a meeting including Dr. William Thompson, Frank DeStefano, Dr. Colleen Boyle, and Dr. Macelin Urigen Alsop, where they reviewed information about how the MMR vaccine was impacting the lives of black children, in particular black males. When they saw the number of what it was doing to black boys, they met for hours and tried to rehash the numbers and skew the figures, and they did their best to run it through tests over and over again to get rid of the 2.36 effect, or 236% number, demonstrating that black boys were being affected with autism far more than Caucasian boys. And rather than exposing this data to the world and shutting down the MMR vaccine being injected into black boys, they simply brought it to a trash can and dumped all the files. Does that sound like the recount with the president? Yeah. It'd be the same shit over and over, y'all. Same people running every sector. Dr. Brian Hooker drove to the state of Oregon and was legally able to record the phone call without telling Dr. William Thompson. California is a two-party state, so both people on the phone would have to give consent to recording. If y'all around here recording people without their permission, you are not able to do that. Hello? Okay. Why is this important? If that had never happened, then the information about MMR vaccine and what it is doing to black boys, how it caused autism to emerge, would never have been revealed and proven to be true. Well over 100,000 of them would never have known about, and people all over the country of America and the world would not have been validated in their feelings that something is going on with these vaccines, particularly how they are targeting black and brown children. All of those who are activists and all of those who are parents knew that there was something deeper, but it gets even worse. The National Childhood Vaccination Injury Act was passed as a result of vaccine manufacturers threatening Congress to stop manufacturing vaccines because they were under so much legal scrutiny from people suing them as a result of harm being dealt to the children from the vaccine. So their solution was to tell Congress that, listen, either you make it to where we are legally immune from being sued, or we're just going to stop manufacturing vaccines altogether. And of course, to Congress, that was a major problem because the only thing they are considering is, what if the terrorist sends in a bioweapon to attack our country? What if there's an epidemic or a disease that occurs? What will we do? So Congress accepted and made vaccine manufacturers legally immune, so they have no liability and they can literally put anything they want into the vaccine after the Childhood Vaccine Injury Act of 1986. So with that being said, all these vaccines after 1986, it's a fucking hell no for me. And I was born in 87. So I ain't had no choice as a young jit. But no, they could do what they want when they want, and there's nothing nobody can do about it. I don't want to know. That's a hell no. So this was the trip part. Prior to the Childhood Vaccine Injury Act, or the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act of 1986, autism was seen 1 in 1,500 after the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act was passed. In 1986, autism increased from 1 in 1,500 children to just 1 in 500, y'all. That dropped 1,000. That was quick. By 1990. So 87, 88, 89, 90. 4 years, y'all. They switched them down vaccines. Say, okay, instead of hurting 1 in 1,500, we're going to hurt 1 in 500. But check this out. Continue to increase in cases. It dropped from 1 in 250 in 2000, 1 in 150 in 2005, 1 in 132 by 2010. 1 in 68 by 2014. This is 2020. We're going on 22. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 1 and 2 by now. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. But check this out, y'all. An STD-tainted tetanus vaccine was sent to Nairobi, Kenya, which sterilized over 1 million Kenyan women to where they can no longer have children. So when people say they're doing voodoo and all this wicked, evil stuff, I think there's a place for everything, y'all. You shouldn't just be randomly harming people. But if your country, 1 million women, that's going to affect how many generations for the Kenyans? I would give them permission to do all kind of hex, voodoo, like what the fuck ever. You know what I mean? Like you didn't just hurt that woman. You hurt her legacy. You hurt that man. He can get her as much sperm as he want and she can't do nothing with it. You know what I mean? That's crazy. And probably most likely without her knowing. Nobody would agree to that. The same Gates Foundation 6 vaccines to Zimbabwe, where children were being vaccinated and were dying at a rate of 5,000 a week, 20,000 a month, to the effect that the number one business became making coffins. And I remember growing up looking at vaccines like, oh, we're dying, we're hungry, da da da. So now that I look back, like companies like Bill Gates is sending them people, telling them people we're here to help, giving them vaccines and shit, which is making them sick, which is making them dying. Then they're filming commercials, sending them to us saying, oh my gosh, we really want to help these people. Look, they're hungry, send money. And they're getting money from us to help them continue to kill them. So I'm glad that I don't donate to companies like that anymore, because you're giving money to the same people that's killing them. Okay, let me keep going. Check this out. A portion of meat in the United States is not only coming from rats. You heard that right. But, for example, it's legal in most states within the United States to eat dog meat. The only state which explicitly outlawed dog meat are California, Georgia, Hawaii, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, and Virginia. But in all other states, as long as it's not sold in a store, it is legal to eat dog meat. So my question is, well, shit, if the shit ain't coming from the store, what, you just getting it off the street? I would rather, if I'm going to eat meat, let it go through the process of a store. It's like, what? That's so backwards. You should already know that there's not enough beef to go around in the country, nor is there enough chicken. So you should question yourself as to truly what it is that you are eating. I doubt that it's good, wholesome, organic, and non-GMO piece of meat. More likely, it's chicken being fed a mixture of genetically modified seeds mixed with antibiotics, because they're being given so many hormones to where their body is physically too heavy. It's breaking the chicken's leg from being overweight, along with not growing hair and having its face to be debeaked so that it doesn't peck at the sores of the chickens next to it. And I just put, Lord help me, and all the farm animals. Y'all know I'm a vegan. And this clearly demonstrates something deeper that everyone should look into for their overall understanding as to what is occurring with our food supply. We really have to understand that chicken and beef happen to be two of the most heavily circulated and high demand meats within the United States, as well as outside of the United States. According to the Department of Agriculture within the United States, the domestic meat reproduction is expected to surpass 100 billion pounds. For the first time back in 2008, meat and poultry output was set to reach 103.1 billion pounds compared to 99.8 billion pounds back in 2017. This was a record high for meat consumption. It was a record amount of meat eaten at an estimated of 2 to 2.2 pounds per U.S. citizen in the year. We're literally eating ourselves to death, and we act as if everything is okay and that there is nothing to worry about. Our major factor that we do not consider is GMOs, genetically modified. Oh. The production of GMO food products and the development and application of associated chemicals, specifically Monsanto's infamous contributions, have been the chemical Roundup a glyphosate-based herbicide that is promoted as safe and harmless to humans, but as believed by a multitude of experts to be quite the opposite. While the company's GMO seeds are advertised as requiring a reduced use of pesticides, this has been exposed as a false claim. The company also previously produced such evils as the insecticide DDT, PCBs, and Agent Orange, aspartame, and bovine growth hormones. All of these chemicals are considered by many to be a threat to global ecosystems, water safety, and biodiversity. The residues of Roundup, which remain in genetically modified foods, are believed to cause many dangerous effects to the human health, including the death of embryonic cells. Hello. So if they don't get you by birth control, they're getting you by GMOs. And extreme damage to the intestinal microbiome. We all know that your intestines is your first brain, not second. Let's see. So we be eating fucking Roundup. And I'm trying to do better. Like, I stopped with the red meat, and then I was only eating chicken, fish, and shrimp. And then I was like, okay, I'm stopped with the chicken. I'm going to just do seafood. That's pescatarian. Then I dropped the pescatarian. I was like, okay, let me reduce the sugar. So I was a crazy sugar freak. And I stopped with the sugar. I even switched my drink to just water and tea. So if you see me do a little bit of soda or a little bit of something else, it's very rare because it's soda and tea for me. Because sugar is just my nemesis. And then I stumbled across fruitarian. So I've been giving that a try. But even though I've claimed vegan, I still love the pastas, the potatoes, and the bread. So once I switched that, I've been doing good with the potatoes. Sweet potatoes are a good alternative. And you add you some butter, you some agave, and some brown sugar. It's just like a potato. It's just going to be sweet instead of, the buttery. And with my pasta, you can get like the green pasta where they may mix it with kale and spinach and other stuff like that. Or you could get a whole zucchini and twist it around and you have zucchini pasta itself. So I'm going to just, now on my journey, I'm learning about herbs in my teas. I'm learning about vitamins, and I want to do more fruits and vegetables. I even took a watermelon and juiced it, and I had like 2 to 3 jars, big fat jars of juice. And I was drinking that. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I'm not drinking enough water. But we're really supposed to be drinking H3O, which regular water by itself is doing nothing to your body. It's dead water. Water needs nutrients and minerals and not genetically modified or not man-made. So what an H23 is water with fruit, water with this, water with that. You have to add something to it. By itself, it's doing nothing for you. So all those little pictures that they make where you can put the fruit in the middle, go ahead. If you go to Pinterest and type in detox water, it'll show you all different types of ways you could do fruits and herbs and stuff in your water. So I kind of do that with the teas because teas are a herb, but now I want to start doing the fruit because most likely I'll do a smoothie or just straight juice the fruit. But now I'm going to infuse the water and the fruit, so I'm excited to see. But the most I do is water and lemon. But you could do water and apples, water and blueberry, water. You know what I mean? It's on Pinterest. So, anywho, that was a little sidebar. Let me see what we have here. Monsanto's predatory business and corporate agricultural practices threatens this generation's health, fertility, and longevity. When I be telling people about stuff, it's not to make them feel bad. It's not to hurt their feelings, whatever. It's literally about their health, their fertility, and their life. I be like, your kids are young. Your kids want to see you live to your golden years. So all this YOLO stuff, that's selfish. Now, if you fuck around and have a heart attack at 35, who your kids going to stay with? They dad, they grandma, whoever. And it's going to mess up their life because they're going to need you and you won't be there. So I know a lot of people be like, oh my gosh, she's vegan, this, that, the other. Okay. And I don't judge anybody because what I've learned is when you know better, you do better, right? So if you aren't vegan, it's because you don't know. You haven't taken the time to do the research. Maybe it's not interesting to you, or maybe you just don't know. Because if you truly knew the stuff that I know, I wouldn't have to tell you not to do it. You would already not be doing it. So if you just watch people, literally watch, they'll tell you everything they need to know. So if everybody in the world stopped talking and you just had to watch what they do, you would know everything you need to know just by watching them. And that's that on that. Okay, so let's see. This is the scary part too. However, certain processes, organic foods may still be owned by Monsanto. So they getting us, regardless. Which is, I'm so proud of my mom for having her garden, because look, I'm gonna have a garden too. And that's what he said, grow your own food. We must cook our own food. Stop eating fast food. Whatever food we do eat, let it be the best of the foods and not eat so much of it. Getting rid of almost everything that is often bleached white, including, of course, white sugar. Drinking far more water that is distilled or spring water. For purified water is possibly one of the worst to drink. He stated that Dasani has salt in it, which actually makes you thirstier. So they want you to buy more of their products. I thought that was evil. And then it goes into chapter 7, which is Ttyl, live vision, control of the masses. So, like, it's going to be a part 4, but it's only a little bit more and we'll be done. We'll be done with Mr. Rizza. What I usually say, y'all, I'm forgetting. Namaste, Lovaste, 5 high bay, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks a million for listening. There's a million podcasts in the world. You clicked on this one, this one, to hear what I have to say. I hope universe has a special message for you. You can reach me on Linktree at /love.meesh. I hope you have a better than great day. Love ya. Talk to you later. Bye.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?